Right, YouTube, Shadow King Nazu, and welcome back to my guest room. We've done a little bit of renovating since well, not renovating, furniture placement since you last seen it. Anyway, I'm here with my review of Dragon Ball Super Episode 101. Now, before we begin, I just want to apologize for not having this on schedule. As I said in my Google post and on my Twitter page, my aunt just died recently from cancer, and it was a real blow for our family. So we just took our moment to grieve over that, and we're gonna have the funeral Saturday. So there's a good chance I may not see Dragon Ball Super episode 102 because because we're gonna be visiting my grandma for the funeral, and it's a FedEx truck. And as I was saying, we're gonna be visiting my grandma, and my grandma, I'm not entirely sure she has Wi-Fi, and if she does, it's not all that great. So I may not see Dragon Ball Super, and with all my relatives coming in, and it's really not a good time to be reviewing and getting my thoughts together. So I may not have my review up until I get back, which is I don't know when we'll be back. But let's focus on the review, shall we? So we start off with Khalifa meeting up with Kale, and Khalifa is saying how proud she is of how she was able to go into her Super Saiyan Berserk form again, but Kale just doesn't remember it. Apparently, whenever she goes into Super Saiyan Berserk, she gets so angry that she blacks out, which is actually a real thing. Some people do get that angry. I mean, I recall that happening to me once when I saw Dragon Ball Evolution. I just got so pissed off, and I had to unfortunately watch it again just to remember what happened in it. I mean, because I just couldn't believe, and I was just really, really angry when I saw it. Everything was wrong. Then we cut to Goku confronting Jiren, because we all know that Goku's got that itch to fight a really strong opponent, and the only one who can cure that itch is Jiren. And he gets ready to fight him, and Jiren's just like staring like him, like, this guy for real? is he real now? But unfortunately, Goku gets proverbially cop blocked by Toppo using his Justice Flash technique. And Toppo and Jiren decide to have the rest of the Pride Troopers. I mean, well, not the rest of them, like 5 of them, take out Goku, while everybody else just find some place to stay safe and regain their strength. This creates an interesting revelation towards Jiren. We don't know much about him, but we do know that he's very powerful. But unlike someone like Vegeta, he does follow orders and sees reason in things. So if I were to compare him, he'd be more like Hit, where they are powerful, but they don't let their power get to their head like someone like Vegeta or Frieza. Speaking of which, we then cut to Master Roshi using his Lightning Flash surprise attack on, what was that guy's name? Precho or something like that? It was that fighter from Universe 3 that everybody said looked like Cell. And looking at him closely, I do see the resemblance towards him and Cell. Which making that comparison might piss off a lot of Cell fanboys. Then again, I don't really care. But yeah, he gets caught in the Lightning Flash surprise, but unfortunately, due to the nature of the technique, Master Roshi can't not fling him out of the ring, which allows Tien to do it with his Neo Tri-Beam, or the Shin Kikoho, as it known in the Japanese dub. So, yeah, finally Tien got to do something, so all the Tien fanboys can finally shut up about it, about him getting mistreated, apparently. Even though Tien's not the greatest fighter that everybody tried to make him out to be. I mean, for Pete's sake, even Akira Toriyama said Krillin was stronger than Tien, but they can't get it through their heads. And then everybody, the rest of the Z fighters meet up with the addition of Frieza, who has what was his name? Mirichin? Yeah, Mirichin. Who he just knocked out Mirichin and then flings him out of the ring. And Vegeta gets pissed off about it because this is he was his opponent. He was gonna fling him out, but Frieza says first come first serve. No, going back to the fanboys, I find it very hypocritical that when Goku supposedly stole Vegeta's fight back in the Resurrection of F saga, and in the movie as well, all the Vegeta fanboys just had a bitch fit, saying that Vegeta should have been the one to kill Frieza, even though that would narratively make no sense and character-wise would not made sense. But when Frieza does it here in the Tournament of Power, nobody's complaining. Hypocrites. But yeah, they basically tried to regroup, and they said that the only ones left are Goku and Android 17 and 18. And speaking of Goku, he dug up through the Kachi floor and accidentally meets up with Kalen Khalifa. You know, for the supposedly the strongest metal in the multiverse, this metal doesn't seem all that durable. Then again, we have like 80 of the strongest fighters in the multiverse. But I'm just really surprised that Goku, even in his base form, can break through Kachin. Guess Goku's a lot stronger than we thought he was. Khalifa then thinks that Goku is trying to fight her and Kale while they're still tired out and trying to recover their strength. But Goku says that he's not trying to do that. He just met them by accident. However, that is the idea of the Pride Troopers, and we get to see the 5 members. Casserole, who's like one of the lieutenants or generals of. He says he's one of the high leaders, but he's not the absolute leader. That would be Topo. But he's the only one who gets a rank call for himself. Then we have Tupper and this little guy named Zore. Then we have the female Pride Trooper with the purple hair and with the purple skin and pink hair. Her name is Cocotte. And from what I've heard, her name is like French for a Dutch oven. So either Akira Toriyama named it after the appliance, or he named it after the joke of women farting on people when they had their bed sheets. If it's the latter, I approve. Yes, I meant this girl's farting. We known that for years. Move on, shall we? And it's basically the whole fight is about the Pride Troopers trying to use their techniques and numbers against Goku, Kale, and Khalifa, forcing them to work together. And it does work in their favor a little bit. We get to see their different techniques, like Tupper can modify his own weight, and even has Goku in a bear hug and making him struggle. And Goku really should watch out for bear hugs. He gets called that a lot, especially in this tournament. I mean, he's got caught by Frieza, Nink, or whatever his name was, and now Tupper. Oh, and also Topo. Yeah, Topo did that earlier. But yeah, he has the same problem with bear hugs, just like Frieza has a problem with not watching his stomach, which often leads to him getting punched in it and doing some serious damage. And also, Castro was able to do Keyblades, much like Zamasu or Salza or Goku Black. And Kokal is able to create these huge domes, which act as both barriers and as an alternate dimension, which is a kind of a useful technique. So I did like how these combinations work together. And it's ultimately, the team is able to beat them by having Android 1718 helping them, which gave them a huge advantage since the androids can't have their energy sense, which Castle did note. And there was this moment where the Tribes were starting to get an upper hand on Kale and Khalifa, and Khalifa started to protect Kale from their attacks, and Kale felt so worthless because she has an inferiority complex and just wants to be useful to her big sis. And this causes her to transform again. We think that she's going to go into Super Saiyan Berserk, but no, she goes into the to a controlled version of Super Saiyan Berserk, because I don't think it's Super Saiyan. It looks similar, but she's more muscular, so I'm just going to call it controlled Super Saiyan Berserk. And I know that's an oxymoron, but still. And they were ultimately able to beat them with a combination attack, and it leads to a beam clash between their United Justice Stream versus the whatever Kale and Khalifa's attack is, and even Kale goes into Super Saiyan Berserk for like a brief moment just to power it up. And then we also see Kokot manage to survive, but Android 18 throws her out of the ring in a comedic way. And Khalifa wants to know if Goku is going to try to take advantage of them being weakened now, but Goku says no, they can go, and Khalifa says, okay, but don't hold it against us if this comes back to bite you in the ass. And Android 1718 Android 18 says that everybody's the enemy, so we should be taking every advantage we should get. But Android 17 agrees with Goku. It's kind of the honorable thing to do, and it's much more fun. So that does seem in character. And meanwhile, the episode ends off with Brienne de Chateau looking from the distance at them. So it's hinting that the next opponent is going to be Universe 2. All in all, I really did enjoy this episode. We got to see some really good team dynamics, some character development for Kale, got to further insight into the characters of Jiren, even though it was minimal. It was also nice to see some interactions between Goku and the rest of the fighters. And while it was interesting to see the different techniques of the Pride Troopers, I honestly gotta say on the negative side that I was expecting them to be made of sterner stuff. I mean, we're being building up the Pride Troopers like these are the big threat, and that they need to be intimidating. I thought they were gonna be something like Togoro's group from Yu Yu Hakusho, but it seems like they're only known for their techniques, not how powerful they can be. And the only ones who are going to be really effective are Dispo, Topo, Jiren, and whoever a fourth guy is. Yeah, and it's also said by the Daishinken that we're starting to get rid of all the fodder, and all these fighters are going to have to start fighting serious now because everybody is getting to the real heavy hitter opponents, and they have to get really serious since some of them are starting to tire themselves out. So those were my thoughts on Dragon Ball Super episode 101. We'll have the next video whenever I get back from my aunt's funeral. I'll catch you guys later.